What are the two or three statements that would symbolize this break from the Democratic Party orthodoxy, probably drive people crazy, but potentially bring working class voters back?
And there's a lot of things that they need to do, but there's basically they need to be people who genuinely love America, and that means calling out people who genuinely don't love America, most of whom are in the ultra left wing of the Democratic Party. So when people say, let's rename Abraham Lincoln High School, which they did in San Francisco, the presidential nominee of the Democratic Party should say, what are you effing nuts? George Washington wasn't a slaveholder. That's not he was, but that's not his defining characteristic. He's the man who gave us our freedom. And he needs to say it, not pandy around about it. They need to be very clear that it's more important to grow the pie for working class Americans than it is to be generous to people coming to this country by giving them residency. Because, by the way, they're going to be competing with Hispanic working class people for jobs, not with the NGOs and lobby groups whose college educated people are lobbying for them. They need to be for a tight labor market, and they need to say this is more important than the Green Revolution, which is to say we're not going to be in favor of cutting off fossil fuel production. We'll try and subsidize, because it's the Democrats, we'll try and subsidize a transition away from that. But we're not going to say don't drill, don't frack, don't mine. What, are you nuts? So those are two things right away. On the trans issue, they need to be absolutely that children are different than adults. If you're 18 years old or under, no, you're not going to transition. No, you're not going to be competing on sports with women, even after you transition before you're 18. No, we're for biology. We're for science. What, are you nuts? And we know that that's going to be incredibly offensive to that third of the party. But they have to be beaten in a fight, or else what the Democrats will do is ultimately be dragged down by their assuming a moderately successful Republican. If Donald Trump's policies are as bad as many people think, we're going to have defeat abroad and depression or recession at home, and no party survives. George W. Bush brought defeat and depression, and you saw what happened to the Republican Party in 2008. If Donald Trump brings that home, the Republican opportunity will be squandered.